Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Buff Nagel the podcast, where we explore entertaining and enlightening discussions of the adventure of life and all things good. From science and technology to history and philosophy to leadership and success. We hope to give you a better understanding of the world and skills for everyone to pursue their own adventure.
That's staying in. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Buff Nagel, the podcast where we talk about all things good in the pursuit of the adventure of life. I'm Harry, joined by Rafe, as always. Sometimes mostly him, sometimes me, maybe 80% of the time these days. Rafe, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. It's like I always say, it's a great day to be doing a podcast with you. And it's great to have a podcast for our listeners who are the greatest listeners in the history of the interweb podcast
Sphere.
Podcast diverse. Podcast diverse. But anyway, they're the greatest. And we are glad that you are here if you are listening. And if you're not listening, then tell somebody to send you the podcast so that you can listen and get a friend to listen, and you will get a free episode. Share the love, share the buff. If you're new to the podcast, hey, we are glad that you're here. Give us 4 episodes or so, 44 episodes, 144 episodes, something like that. And we'll give you lots of things to talk about. And you can always send us a note at buffnagel@buffnagel.com, and we will answer your questions, maybe like God answers prayers.
Yeah, that's right. We can't promise you'll get exactly what you want, right? But we can promise that in a roundabout way, you might find what you need.
You know, Harry, if you're doing a lot of podcasts or even listening to a lot of podcasts, you're going to get thirsty. And you know what you're going to need?
What's that?
A smoothie.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I know what you need. You need the BlendJet 2. It's portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, a margarita on the beach, or in your kitchen while you listen to the buff. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder and powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. It's whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. And it lasts for 15 plus blends, recharges quickly via USB-C. And best of all, it cleans itself. Just blend a water with a drop of soap, and you're good to go. It's all clean. Squeaky clean. You know what? They got all kinds of colors, all kinds of patterns. I like to use just simple black, and it's classy.
Well, that's because you're a classy guy, Harry. But you know what? Regardless of what kind of class level you have, there's a BlendJet 2 smoothie making blender for you. So the question is, what are you waiting for? Go to the blendjet.com link in our description below and grab yours today. Be sure to use the promo code BuffNagel to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other blender in the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of BlendJet 2. They guarantee you will love it or you will get your money back. Blend any time, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to the blendjet.com link in the description and use the code BuffNagel to get 12% off and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
We are releasing this episode on December 12th, Tuesday.
That is the plan. Yes, that's the plan.
Which is, Rafe, what day is today?
The 12th of December will be, and is, for those of you who are listening in real time, it is the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, a major, big deal feast for a large part of, for everybody in the world, and in particular, the Americas, and in particular, our friends in Mexico, and our what do we call them now? Our Latino friends, our Latina friends, our Hispanic friends, anybody with a Spanish heritage is big on this thing, and we are big on this thing because we're big with our Spanish friends. So we're going to talk about the story of Our Lady of Guadalupe and how this came to be. And this is a very remarkable story. And what's even remarkabler about it is how much evidence there is for this, in particular in the realm of actual physical relics from this event. So we're going to start this story way back in 1531, a decade after the fall of the Aztecs by Cortez, who's probably a topic for future discussion. Less than 40 years after Columbus arrived in the West Indies. Remember, Columbus did his stuff 1492 to 1505, 6, 7, whatever it was like that.
Faded away into oblivion as
Yeah, and
his
then
excursions went on and on.
Yeah, and 10 years after Magellan's circumnavigation. So we have episodes on pretty much all those things except for Cortez at this point. So if you ever want to find out stuff about that, go back and listen to those things. But it wasn't the European world is finding out about the New World. The Spanish are going all over the Americas, doing some things good and doing some things not so good. But one thing that they did is they conquered the Aztecs, who were that's a whole story in itself. Let's just say they were not necessarily nice people to people that lived around them. So,
right.
So the Aztecs fell to Cortez, and 10 years later, it's 1531. It's December, so it's late 1531. And there's a native peasant named Juan Diego. That is his Spanish name. And he had recently become a Christian convert. And he has an uncle whose name is Juan Bernardino. And on Saturday, December 9th, 1531, Juan Diego is walking to his catechism class in town. And he's walking past a barren and desolate hill called Tepeyac Hill. And he hears this music, this sweetness, this sound he doesn't recognize. And he can't locate the source. And then suddenly he sees this beautiful woman, this woman who might be a queen, or certainly a princess. And she asks him where he is going.
So where would you be going? He's probably going to church, right? I don't know if you're
going to church. And yeah,
strange lady asked me where I'm going, so I guess I'll follow along.
Yeah. So she, ma'am, I'm going to church, and so she says to him that she is the true mother of the true God, and asks that a church or temple or shrine be built on that spot in her honor. And now Tepeyac Hill had formerly been a sacred spot for the Aztec goddess. Okay, the name here is Teotihuacan, which means the mother of the gods. And notice the Theo in front. Theo is the god, so that's the mother of the gods is the Aztec Teotihuacan. And the important thing to note here is that Mary is stepping in and saying, you know what, you had all these Aztec gods, and that was whatever it was, but I am the mother of the true God, and that's who I'm bringing forth to you.
Right. So we're already starting off with a lot of symbolism.
Yep.
Right. Physically and spiritually here. 1,500 years after the birth of Christ. Almost to the day.
Yeah, but it hasn't been that long since, I guess, Christendom came to the Americas. It's been 40 years, depending upon on how well Columbus brought Christendom,
or if any other pilgrims or settlers went south as opposed to landing up in Massachusetts.
Well, right. But so there's actually, keep that in mind. The pilgrims are going to be 90 years after this. 90 years.
Yeah.
That's
There you go.
1620. So, and, but the British were going along the north and they went south, so we don't know exactly what the Aztecs knew or what Juan Diego knew about the Spanish or the Europeans prior to 1500 or so. But he's a young man. I don't know. I don't remember what year he was born, but he's probably somewhere between 20 and 45.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
So he would have been born about the time that that people in the New World were coming to understand that there's a whole group coming over from Europe, and they're in these big ships with the big sails, and something's going on. So there was an account written of this interaction in 1649. So keep in mind that's 120 years later. These things were written down by an Indian scholar named Antonio Valeriano, and he wrote the conversation like this. He said, "The Virgin Mary said, 'Juanito, the most humble of my sons, where are you going?'"
Juan Diego responds, "My lady and child, I have to reach your church in Mexico, Tlatelolco, to pursue all things divine, taught and given to us by our priest, delegates of our Lord."
And the Virgin Mary replies, "Know and understand well, you the most humble of my sons, that I am the ever Virgin Holy Mary, Mother of the true God for whom we live, of the Creator of all things, Lord of heaven and earth. I wish that a temple be erected here quickly, so I may therein exhibit and give all my love, compassion, help, and protection, because I am your merciful mother. To you and to all inhabitants of this land, and the rest who love me, invoke and confide in me, listen there to their lamentations, and remedy all of their miseries, afflictions, and sorrows. And to accomplish what my clemency pretends, go to the palace of the bishop in Mexico, and you will say to him that I manifest my great desire that here on this plain a temple be built to me. You will accurately relate all you have seen and admired, and what you have heard. Be assured that I will be most grateful and will reward you, because I will make you happy and worthy of recompense for the effort and fatigue in which you will obtain of what I have entrusted. Behold, you have heard my mandate, my humble son. Go and put forth all your effort.
Juan Diego replies again, My lady, I am going to comply with your mandate. Now I must part from you, I, your humble servant.
So he's gotten a charge, right? The lady had dropped the gauntlet and said, I need this. So she tells him, go to the bishop in Mexico and tell him what I want. And it's interesting here. Keep in mind, okay, so there's a bishop in Mexico at this point, right? It's 1530. The Spanish have been there 30 years, give or take. And they have set up camp there. There's a bishop there, and they have established the church there. But she doesn't appear to the bishop. She doesn't appear to the priest. She doesn't appear to the deacon. She appears to a peasant,
a layperson.
To a layperson, to just a guy, right? He's just a guy. And that becomes part of the problem, because Juan Diego's, he's just a guy. He's just a recent convert. He's still going to classes and learning everything he's supposed to be learning. So he goes to the bishop and he tells the story, and he says, hey, bishop, this, there was a lady there.
Guess what happened today?
You'll never believe my story. All right. And she said, hey, she said, build a church. And you got to imagine the bishop's like, really? Like how many, like, I need this, I need that. I can, come baptize my kid or do, whatever, like the bishop's trying to deal with all the stuff going on. And then this guy comes and says, I need a special church built there on this hill. And of course the bishop's, he's not really convinced. He asks for proof, right? We have faith and reason, right? So he needs some reason. He needs some data here. So Juan goes back home, and as he's walking back from, nobody's on a bike, nobody's in a car, nobody's taking the train or any of that stuff. He walks back, and on the way back, who does he run into?
Probably none other than the Virgin Mary again.
Yes. The lady is there again. And Juan Diego says, he tells her the story. He says, I talked to the bishop and he didn't want to do it. And she says, what? She says, I need you to go back. And Juan Diego
There's got to be someone more important, right?
Yeah. Don't send me.
Why would you ever send just the regular guy?
Don't send the regular guy. She goes, no. I picked you. Oh, goodness. Okay.
Right, so Juan Diego says, Lady, the least of my daughters, my child, I went where you sent me to comply with your command. With difficulty, I entered the prelate's study. I saw him and exposed your message, just as you instructed me. He received me benevolently, and I listened attentively. But when he replied, it appeared that he did not believe me. He said, You will return. I will hear you at my pleasure. I will review from the beginning the wish and the desire which you have brought. I perfectly understood by the manner he replied that he believes it to be an invention of mine that you wish that a temple be built here to you, and that it is not your order, for which I exceedingly beg, lady and my child, that you entrust the delivery of your message to someone of importance, well known, respected, and esteemed, so that they may believe in him. Because I am a nobody. I am a small rope, a tiny ladder, the tail end a leaf, and you, my child, the least of my children, my lady, you send me to a place where I have never visited nor repose. Please excuse the great unpleasantness, and let not fretfulness befall, my lady and my all.
To which the Virgin Mary replies, Hark, my son, the least, you must understand that I have many servants and messengers, to whom I must entrust the delivery of my message and carry my wish. But it is of precise detail that you yourself solicit and assist that, through your meditation, my wish be complied. I earnestly implore, my son the least, and with sternness I command that you go again tomorrow and see the bishop. You go in my name, and make known my wish in its entirety, that he has to start the erection of a temple which I ask of him, and again tell him that I, in person, the ever Virgin Holy Mary, Mother of God, has sent you.
And Juan Diego says, Lady, my child, let me not cause you affliction. Gladly and willingly I will go to comply your mandate. Under no condition will I fail to do it, for not even the way is distressing. I will go to do your wish, but perhaps I will not be heard with liking, or if I am heard, I might not be believed. Tomorrow afternoon, at sunset, I will come to bring you the result of your message with the prelate's reply. I now take leave, my child, the least, my child and lady. Rest in the meantime.
So, all right.
All
So
right, fine, I'll do it. I'll go back again.
but I think
I'm
this
sorry, I'm not good enough, but I'll try again.
Well, and that's a thing. I think we all say that, but it is fundamentally important that it's Juan Diego. It's fundamentally important that it's a regular person, because what's going to come out of that is the conversion of an entire continent, right? It's the amount of conversions that will take place following what's going to happen is off the charts, and it is, Our Lady of Guadalupe is the patroness of the Americas, of the whole thing. And the Americas go from Point Barrow, Alaska, up there, all the way down to Tierra del Fuego, and everything in that is unknown to Christendom, and she is asking Juan Diego to be the messenger to get this thing started. So the next day, Sunday, he goes back to the bishop and he repeats his request. And of course he fails again because he has no evidence. So he reports back to the lady and tells the tale and includes a request from the bishop that Juan Diego bring back some sort of sign. He says, look, I got to have something.
It's almost like the bishop is saying, well, you need to give me a miracle to prove that you have seen something miraculous.
Well, and yeah, you do. And I think if we didn't have that, then what would we have? Everybody all the time just saying whatever they want. Think of what would happen to, things need to be consistent with the truth, and evidence is a way that you can do that. So she replies, well and good, my little dear, you will return here tomorrow, so you may take to the bishop the sign he has requested. With this, he will believe you, and in this regard, he will not doubt you, nor will he be suspicious of you. And know, my little dear, that I will reward your solicitude and effort and fatigue spent on my behalf. Lo, go now. I will await you here tomorrow. So that's Sunday. All right. And she has promised him now that when he goes back tomorrow, she'll have a sign for him to give to the bishop. And at this point, he's got to be like, awesome. I got it made. I can get this out of my way and get back to whatever it is I do on the weekends. All right. So Monday rolls around and he's planning to go meet the lady again and get the sign to take to the bishop. But his uncle, remember we mentioned his uncle, Juan Bernardino, he has taken ill. In fact, he's so ill that Juan Diego fears that he is dying. So he spends the day taking care of his uncle, being a nurse to him, right, and trying to keep him well. And in the wee hours of Tuesday, so he spends all day with Juan Bernardino. On Tuesday, December 12th, he decides he's got to go get a priest because his uncle's dying. He needs last rites, so he's got to go back into town, right, and he's got to go past the big hill, right, to get the priest. And there's an important thing here about the dates, Harry. Okay, it's December 12th is here, but keep in mind the calendar at the time, 1531. The calendar in play is the Julian calendar, and we talked about this a long time ago,
and sporadically in between.
Yes, and every now and then we bring it up whenever we can talk about the calendar. We talk about the calendar,
so we're doing it again.
Yeah, here it is. But the Julian date, December 12th, that's not the Gregorian date. Okay, so December 12th, 1531 in Julian calendar maps to December 22nd, 1531 in the Gregorian calendar, which is the winter solstice. All right. So this happens on the shortest day of the year. These are dark times in the northern hemisphere.
The winterest of winter.
This is when winter is there. There's not much going, the sun is, being a slacker, short days and long nights. All right. So if you want more on the calendar, episode 10's got calendar stuff, but that's an important note, is that this is happening at the winter solstice. So, of course, now he was supposed to meet the lady on Monday, and he spent all day taking care of his uncle, trying to what should I do? Should I take care of my uncle? Should I go meet the lady? Back and forth. And he doesn't go meet the lady. So in the middle of the night, early in the morning, All right. He leaves to go in there on Tuesday. Okay. And he's worried about running into this strange lady on the hill. All right. Because he blew her off the day before. So feeling ashamed, he decides to take the long way around the hill instead of going over the hill.
Just like any shameful person would do.
Right. Just to avoid meeting her. Right. And well, Harry, can you outrun God?
Probably not. I probably can't outrun Mary either.
No, right. So she will find you if she needs you. And yeah, you guessed it. She finds him and she chastises him for trying to avoid her. Right? And she says, "What's there, my son, the least? Where are you going?"
Juan Diego replies, "My child, the most tender of my daughters, lady, God grant you are content. How are you this morning? Is your health good, lady and my child? I'm going to cause you grief. Know, my child, that a servant of yours is very sick, my uncle. He has contracted the plague and is near death. I am hurrying to your house in Mexico to call one of your priests, beloved by our Lord, to hear his confession and absolve him. Because since we were born, we came to guard the work of our death. But if I go, I shall return here soon, so I may deliver your message. Lady and my child, forgive me. Be patient with me for the time being. I will not deceive you, the least of my daughters. Tomorrow I will come in all haste."
To which Mary replies, "Hear me and understand well, my son the least, that nothing should frighten or grieve you. Let not your heart be disturbed. Do not fear that sickness, nor any other sickness or anguish. Am I not here, who is your mother? Are you not under my protection? Am I not your health? Are you not happily within my fold? What else do you wish? Do not grieve nor be disturbed by anything. Do not be afflicted by the illness of your uncle, who will not die now of it. Be assured that he is now cured. Climb, my son, to the top of the hill, and there where you saw me and I gave you your orders, you will find different flowers. Cut them, gather them, assemble them, then come and bring them before my presence. My son, the least, this diversity of roses is the proof and the sign which you will take to the bishop. You will tell him in my name that he will see in them my wish, and that he will have to comply to it. You are my ambassador, most worthy of all confidence. Rigorously, I command you that only before the presence of the bishop will you unfold your mantle and disclose what you are carrying. You will relate all and well. You will tell that I ordered you to climb to the hilltop, to go and cut the flowers and all that you saw and admired, so you can induce the prelate to give his support, with the aim that a temple be built and erected as I have asked." Now, these flowers that he goes to pick turn out to be Castilian roses, which do not grow in that area of Mexico. So he goes there, he picks the flowers, he gets them, he brings them back down the hill, and she arranges them in his cloak. And remember, she told him, do not open this cloak, this tilma, until you are in the presence of the bishop. And to me, this is a picture that I have. This is a breathtaking picture to me, because I imagine like you remember this, Harry. You're a little kid, and your mom zips up your jacket, and she puts your scarf on. You put your and to me that's the same picture. Okay, he comes back down with the flowers, and what I do is she says, "I'll put them in your coat here. You'll be okay." And she's reaching
warm,
right? And she snuggles him up. It is winter and it's cold, and she ties it up so he's all safe and he's warm and he's fine. He's got a plan, and he's got a plan. He's got an assignment. He has the proof. He's going to get it done. And his uncle, he has been told his uncle will live, and this death is not anything to be a problem. So he goes to the bishop, and he does exactly as he's told. And he says, "Here is the sign." And he opens the cloak, and the flowers spill out onto the ground. And everybody's like, "Oh, where'd you get all these flowers?" You know,
and they're up on that hill up there.
Yeah, well, I found this cache of flowers up on the top there. But the bishop sees something that other people don't see. She's like, on the inside of his tilma, on the inside of his cloak, is this image that has been
imposed.
That's a great word. It has been imposed on the inside of the tilma. It's an image of a lady, a pregnant woman, eyes downcast, hands clasped in prayer, clothed in a pink tunic robe covered by a cerulean mantle with a black sash emblazoned with 8-point stars, eclipsing the blazing sun while standing atop a darkened crescent moon with an angel carrying her train. The image is filled with details that are relevant to the native people and to Marian doctrine.
Yeah, so you imagine that you're sitting there, you're witnessing, I guess, the court of the bishop, right? And you're one of these just regular people. And first thing you see is all the flowers. The bishop sees the image. But then more importantly, the image is related to you as a native of the region. It's like someone comes up to you and says, hey, build the mountain there up on, ironically, Carmel, right?
Yeah.
Build the church on Carmel, and then the next thing you see is you opened up your sweatshirt and imposed is a what's that? The Carmel mascot?
Greyhound. Oh, the Greyhounds. Yeah, the Greyhounds.
This has got Greyhounds running everywhere.
Yeah, it's
same type of thing.
Yeah, it would be like that. And everything in the image, and I'm sure you've seen the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. It is as
almost as iconic as any other Catholic imagery in the Americas.
Any Christian imagery in the Americas.
Any Christian imagery. Yeah, absolutely.
This is a real sign, and it covers both sides of these things. It's important to the people who are natives see things that are relevant to them, and the Christians see things that are relevant to them. So the lady in the image is a lady clothed with the sun, and that's a reference to Revelation 12:1, and the sun. But the sun is also relevant to the locals, as their highest god was the sun, and his name was, oh, here we go, Huitzilopochtli.
Sorry.
I just need somebody to teach me these. I would like to be more respectful of these names. I just don't know what the names are. But it's the sun god. It's the sun god. And in the image, she is eclipsing the sun, right? To announce that she is the mother of the true God, and the true God is bigger and greater than the sun god. All right. And she stands on the moon, which is another reference to Revelation, the moon under her feet. And by standing on the moon, she shows that she is more powerful than the god of the darkness, of the nighttime. Right. And in Christian iconography.
Yeah, there we go.
In Christian iconography, the crescent moon under Madonna's feet is usually a symbol of her perpetual virginity, right? And it sometimes refers to her immaculate conception status, right? Or to the Assumption. So you can see, like, there's both sides of that in here, the Christian side and the native, I guess I'll call it the Aztec side. Her eyes are looking down in humility and compassion. And this was a sign that she was not a god, right? Because in their iconography. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Iconography. The gods look straight ahead, right? The gods are not. They don't look down. They're not humble. They don't have any of that, any need for that sort of thing. So there's an angel there supporting the lady, which testifies to her royalty. And in the Mesoamerican lands, only kings, queens, and other dignities would be carried on the shoulders of anyone. And here she is being carried. She's a queen because she's being carried on the shoulders of these angels. Her mantle, her cape is blue-green, or kind of a turquoise color, a cerulean.
Cerulean?
Cerulean? I guess
you might need to take the SAT again.
Oh shit! You know what? I need to learn to read again. Right? That's the color of gods and royalty. Okay, it's also a color of life and fecundity. And in Christian art, blue is typically the symbol of eternity and immortality. And the Virgin Mary always wears blue, right? Mm-hmm. So, right. And then the stars on her mantle show she comes from heaven. So she's the queen of heaven, but she has the eyes of a humble and loving mother. And I like a humble mother. I keep having this picture of her arranging the flowers inside the tilma. That for me that's the picture I really want to see. I want that picture is what I want to see. And then there's a girdle around her waist, a black bow, which shows that it's a sign of her virginity. But it's also very high on her waist, and you can see that her tummy is swollen. So she is with child. So it is the perfect icon to represent Marian devotion, but also to appeal to the native Mesoamerican people like Juan Diego.
Right, and you can see that these all parallel, right? All of the imagery and the icons and the meaning of these pictures are present, they're easily seen, they're back up in all of culture and all of Christianity, and they are fused together in one image. And now it's being presented to the bishop as the sign of Juan Diego's meeting with the lady.
Yeah, and so everybody's kind of freaked out by this tilma now has this image on the inside, and it's not painted on there. It's like you said, Harry, it's imposed into the tilma. All right, and on December 13th, Juan Bernardino, the uncle, he reveals that he too was visited by the lady, and she instructed him too to go to the bishop and tell his story of the vision, and that she desired to be addressed by the title Guadalupe, which is a Spanish title that the Spaniards would recognize.
Mm-hmm.
So the bishop commissions, he says, all right, I got enough. We're making the chapel. So he makes this little chapel up on the hill, and the tilma gets placed in there. And the tilma is still in existence, and it's still in Mexico City, and it has survived 500 and it's almost 500 years, 498 years now this year, 498 years. If you really want to party after you plan the eclipse,
go to Mexico, December 12th, 2025.
2031.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. It's 2031, and there will be a party there to end all parties. It'll be a 500-year anniversary of Juan Diego's visions. And Harry, this tilma it has survived all sorts of things, like acid getting spilled on it and bombs going off trying to get it destroyed, and they can't stop. You can't stop the tilma. You can't stop Our Lady of Guadalupe. I mean, she's like the original American superhero, and that's you can go see this thing, or you can just go to the internet and type Our Lady of Guadalupe, and you can see the image.
Well, I'm sure you, of all people, would absolutely love to go see. I know you've mentioned, okay, I've got to do my pilgrimage down to Mexico City.
Well, but isn't that a thing? Wouldn't you want to go? Like, wouldn't that be a thing to walk that, to do that, to make? I mean, because we could fly down there and then take a cab, get dropped out in front of the cathedral or the basilica or whatever that is there, and you could climb up inside there. There's a big thing, a huge church now is where it is now, not just a little chapel anymore. And but if you were to walk it, right, and you would spend days putting forth that effort, just like walking the Camino in Spain. Mm-hmm. Right. If you would do that and you get there and you know the story and you tell the story and you live the story, this event this was a catalyst this changed the world. This event changed the world, and it was a peasant, the lowest of the low. It's almost a Christ story, right? It's the lowest of the low gets the message and carries it forward, and has changed the world.
And I think that's really important for listeners here is you are not unworthy of great things for your title, your status, your position. If you are a 16-year-old girl or a 45-year-old CEO of some big company, you are exactly where you need to be, and you are great and capable, or you are capable and worthy of doing great things. You just have to do exactly what Mary did, and you have to say yes.
You have to do what Mary did. You got to do what Juan Diego did. And what was her statement? She says, I have, what does she say here? You must understand that I have many servants and messengers to whom I must entrust the delivery of my message and carry my wish. But it is a precise detail that you yourself solicit and assist, and that through your mediation, my wish be complied. You have a charge. You have a job to do. And it may not result in changing all of the Americas and changing the world, but it will change the world that you live in, your part. And you know what? Juan Diego's parents did whatever they did, and they got Juan Diego there. And what you're doing now is going to be a ripple that is going to cascade down the centuries. And don't think that you don't have a purpose here. You were put in this place at this time for a reason. Go fulfill that.
We've talked about you have a duty, and sometimes it takes an apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe for you to get thrust in the right direction, and other times it's listening to the buff for us to remind you that you have a duty to go do the right things.
Well, we are here for a reason too, and I'm hoping that what we are doing is consistent with what we have been assigned to do. So Our Lady of Guadalupe remains a fundamental component of Mexican Catholic culture and of Christian culture around the world. And this feast day of December 12th, which should be today when this drops, is a grand feast, a grand celebration. And enjoy the day. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the celebration. Enjoy the revelation and the epiphany that was presented there.
And as always, we remind everybody to seek the good, live excellently, and flourish, and enjoy the adventure of life.